Hey guys, it's Old Man G here, back again with another Manchester United news, weekly news, live stream basically. So where we basically just go through what I think is, anyways, is the biggest news regarding Manchester United Football Club for the upcoming week. It's a weekly show. We usually do it at 1 o'clock. Apologies. I usually do it at 1 o'clock, but I was traveling away. I'd literally just come back. So it's been late. It's then till 9 o'clock UK time. Might be later for some people. But anyway, I'm rambling. Regardless, this is a Manchester United news show. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking about Sergio Reguilón, and what Fabrizio Romano has said. We're going to also be talking about Thiago, his latest comments, possibly thinking maybe that he might be staying at Bayern, possibly. Then looking at Jadon Sancho and what his recent thoughts are. I want to talk about Alexis Sanchez. I want to give my thoughts on Alexis Sanchez, more controversial comments, as it were. And then we're going to talk about Chris Moore and go into so on. But anyway, if you're new, remember, like the video, share, subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Apologies for the delay again. We'll get into it. Thanks to everyone who's in the comments. Shout out to Most Wanted, Footy Live, Kobe Miranda, and so on. It's good to see you guys. Red Devil Talk, great to see you guys. Hope everyone is doing well. And we're going to get into the show. Footy Live, a transfer Tom is going to come. I'm going to bring him on just midway through the show, just when I finish kind of delving into the latest transfer news before we go on to the team news. So I'll be sending you a link to come on just to give us a bit of an update as to how things are going. But let's just quickly go on to basically Sergio Reguilón. Now, for those who aren't aware, Sergio Reguilón is basically a Real Madrid left back. And Sergio Reguilón offered to Manchester United. So he's basically a left back. He's not getting into the Real Madrid team, really. He's basically being offered to Manchester United. Now, if I just show you this tweet, this is actually coming from Fabrizio Romano himself. It wasn't actually a direct tweet that was posted out. It was actually a response. And basically, if you see it here, it says, Reguilón has been offered to Manchester United. Let's see. Reguilón, like I said, probably fourth choice left back at Real Madrid. He actually was on loan to Sevilla. And if any diligent Manchester United fans are aware, he actually played against us in the game where Sevilla won. He put in a few good crosses, in particular the cross that led to the goal that Brandon Williams didn't deal with. And that causes problems, obviously. So he's definitely someone that could do a job for us. And I think that given how potentially injury-prone Luke Shaw is. Let's be real. Potentially injury-prone Luke Shaw is. I think it's good that we can rely on a player, or at least get backup for someone in Luke Shaw's position. I think Brandon Williams is still young. I think that he could go on loan. I think that really, I don't think Luke Shaw is a bad left back. I think that Luke Shaw, with a good run of games and his fit, is, I think, a solid left back. But you can't rely on Luke Shaw for me for full season. And to be honest, if you're going to criticize Eric Bailly for being injury prone, I don't get how you can criticize Luke Shaw for not being injury prone either. Is my thoughts. So that's what I would say. So the tweet from Fabrizio Romano says, as you can see, that he's been offered to Manchester United. However, there's no indication here of any bid or any real substantial interest on Manchester United's part. So, it is what it is. I'm just going to go with some sort of comments. What up, Kobe? How you doing? Good to have you today. Thank you guys so much. IG, it's Kesa. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. With Mendy, Marcelo don't see him staying. And then, according to when was Luke Shaw injury prone? Has Luke Shaw really played a full season? Almost every other season has been. So the ones that stand in mind are when he was under Mourinho, when he had that injury. This season, he was obviously out for the latter third. There were two instances, if I recall. He was out for just after the restart, I think it was. And then there was a period in time, I'm going to say it was when we played Sheffield, because I remember Brandon Williams came in and he was injured for a few weeks there. So at least my point is that, he tends to... I can't remember a full season where, he hasn't at least been out for a period of time. Not as long as, say, certain other players, but, there's a point in time where he's injured and, our backup in that position right now is Brandon Williams. I don't think he's as injury adverse as compared to, say, like Wan-Bissaka. Good. How did he manage to play every single game? Harry Maguire without getting like an injury that would put them out of the game. So my point here really is just that, and Footy Live with some updates says Reguilón is a player United has looked at all season, so they might be scouting him. But my point here really with Reguilón is really that, you know, I certainly think as competition and cover for Luke Shaw, that it's a good shout. It's a good shout because I think that I generally believe that if we had Luke Shaw playing in the Europa League, we would have won the Europa League, and probably we would not got knocked out of the FA Cup either. I think that we need depth in that position. And if Real Madrid are offering us, I think the rumor is touted to be maybe 20 million. Personally, for me, I'd want a sort of a Dani Ceballos deal where like we take him on loan. I don't think we should necessarily buy Reguilón. I think that a loan deal would help, and maybe loan out Brandon Williams. You know, that's kind of my thoughts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that? What's your view of Luke Shaw? What's your view of Sergio Reguilón? Do you think that we need backup in that area? I personally think that we do, but you know, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are. Manny Shalama says, when was he injured? He was injured towards the end. That's why he wasn't there for the last 10 games of the season after the restart, when he went into his I'm trying to remember the game, but like he definitely wasn't playing because Brandon Williams was playing for the last like how many games the rest of the season, and also the Europa League as well. And then in early in the season, because think of this, why did Brandon Williams come into the team? Brandon Williams came into the team because Luke Shaw was injured. That's why he initially came into the team earlier in the season, because injured for a bit, and then obviously this time he came into the team because he was out. That's what happened. So. But I don't know if you like, I'm just sort of saying that like that's this season anyway. I'm not even talking about last season or the season before that, at least in my opinion anyway. Red Devil Talk plus Maguire's free to play against us anyway. Do you need to? Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. We're going to be talking about Thiago as well, because I think that there's some interesting news regarding that. Mwatch says we do need a left-footed attacking left back to challenge Shaw and other different. I mean, we could use a Swin. Let me have a look at. I'm getting address this Manish thing. Let's have a look. Address this Manish comment, because I don't think he understands the difference of opinion. You and some Man U fan who criticize their own player and genitals, idiots, go to hell. I don't really understand that statement, really. It's not a criticism. He's been injured. He gets injuries. It's not a criticism. I don't think, if you were listening to the show, I don't think I said that Manchester United I don't think he was that Luke Shaw was a bad player. He was a good player. What I said was that like he picks up injuries, and that's not been the case this season, but other seasons as well. When he's playing, he's fine. I don't think he's the greatest left back. Or the best left back in the world, but like what I'm saying is that, especially in the context of Sergio Reguilón, is that if Luke Shaw is out, then Brandon Williams struggles, at least so far anyway. Like he struggled to sort of come in and be effective, partly because he's right-footed, and he's a right-footed playing as a left back. You saw many times where he sort of came in for that reason, you know. So that's why I'd say it's not because I think that Luke Shaw is a bad player. It's just that he does pick up injuries sometimes. He does pick up injuries. And if we want to actually challenge and move forward, and this is what United fans are going to say, it's like, you don't seem to get it. So like, if we want to actually challenge, this whole summary, the whole story of this whole appeal is that we need to basically have more squad depth. And I don't know whether your argument is that like anyway, I don't know what your argument is, but I've said my 2 cents. But from my point of view, from the Sergio Reguilón thing, and also there's no use to be in the comments. Everyone has a different opinion. You can have your opinion. I have an opinion. Like I said, I've not said that Luke Shaw is a bad player. So an injury is not saying someone is injured is not a criticism to the player either. But that's my 2 cents. And I think you've said, then tell me how many times he's been injured. I've told you. I've told you the times that he was injured, and in previous seasons as well. So it is what it is. Even if he wasn't, the fact that he has been, I still think means that we need to get depth in that area because Brandon Williams, I don't think that position is his best position, or at least I think he struggles in that position in part because he's right-footed. So increase in depth is fine. For me, if you want to challenge for trophies, Premier Leagues, Champions League, etc., you need depth in squad. That's my 2 cents. But yeah, long story short of it, long story short of it, I personally think that it's that for me, Reguilón to Manchester United would be a good loan deal. I think give him a good loan deal, get him on loan for the year, see how he integrates, see how he gets involved in the team, and then just basically take things from there. Just like Daniel Ceballos, get some competition and add to the squad depth and be sensible with the deals that we make. That's my 2 cents. But yeah, let me know what you think. Would you guys let me know what you guys think. Would you get Sergio Reguilón? Would you say that he adds depth to the side? Who knows? Yeah. Right. Just this as a last comment because I need to move on from this. It's not about who is good. You are saying your comment was you're criticizing a player. That's what you said in the previous comment. You said I was criticizing the player, so I should go to hell because I criticized the player. Saying someone picks up injuries is not criticizing the player. And like I said, I gave you the 2 times that Luke Shaw was injured this season. I could go back and show, but I have other things to talk about the times he was injured last season and the season before. And obviously Jose Mourinho with his comments and stuff like that. Because I remember under Van Gaal when he picked up that severe injury against I think it was the Champions League against one of those Spanish teams under Van Gaal, and he was out for the whole season because it was such a bad injury. So it doesn't surprise me because he had that really bad injury. I think we should buy him. No. See, this is what I mean. Like, we don't have to buy him. We don't have to buy him. He's surplus to requirements at Real Madrid anyway. He's 4th choice at Real Madrid. He probably wants to get some game time. So much like Dani Ceballos at Real Madrid, we need to be sensible sometimes with our transfers. We need to just necessarily spend 20, 25 million pounds or anything like that. Like that's, we don't need to do that. We can be sensible. Let's be sensible at least. Like he's 4th choice of Real Madrid. If there's no one else that's gonna be interested, we could offer him a loan deal, and he can come for X, Y, and Z. Really, So and that way, if it falls apart, then we can loan him back. We've got Brandon Williams to cover. It's fine. I still think that Brandon Williams could potentially do a job, but I just think that maybe he might need a bit more experience. But I think it was unfair last season for him to basically have to step into that position when probably he needed a good loan deal. At least that's my 2 cents anyway. Talk about Nuno Mendes. He's very good. If we sign him, he's very good as well. If I'm honest, I'm not 100%. I haven't watched him a lot, so I probably couldn't give my 2 cents on him. But feel free to give me a bit more information. Modwa says, and shout out to Mo. I agree. Get him on loan with an option to buy. Exactly. Commander Reguilón price is even less than that. Yeah, which is what I think. Madrid would prefer a loan deal. Exactly. So I think for me it works for both parties if we actually get a loan deal for this guy rather than signing him. So because especially because one, that money could go elsewhere. Left back is not necessarily a priority. We're looking at depth here. And so, if I'd rather that money go towards, the Jadon Sancho money. I'd rather it go possibly towards a forward if that was available. I'd rather it probably go towards a centre back. I don't think left back is necessarily a priority signing. Really, it's not. So the way I kind of see it is that a loan deal would be much better, with possibly an option to buy at the end. It is what it is. If Real Madrid wants to buy, yeah. So that's the only thing. If they put a buy, yeah. But that's why I say we should do loans instead of buying the player. Who's in the race for Reguilón? Well, I don't know. But the thing is, the tweet by Fabrizio Romano, it says that he's been offered to all clubs. So there's no one that's really in the race, as it were. In that, like, Real Madrid basically want to offer this guy. They might take a reasonable bid. Let's say 20 to 25 million, possibly. But they might also take a loan as well. So I guess what I'm saying is, and why I showed you this Fabrizio tweet, and I'll go back to it again here, is that, while it says Reguilón has been offered to Manchester United, let's see, previously, Fabrizio did say that Reguilón has been offered to other clubs as well. So I think that's the one that's watched this space. There isn't any indication, that's the point I'm trying to make, that Manchester United are actively going out to pursue Reguilón, sorry, I'm pronouncing it wrongly. No, Real Madrid are offering him to United and offering to other clubs, but are Manchester United actually pursuing Reguilón? There isn't enough evidence that I can see that they actually want to get the player, from what I can see so far. But obviously that is subject to change. So we'll watch this space. We're going to quickly move on to Thiago. I think there's some interesting comments on Thiago. But remember, guys, like the vid. And remember to share and subscribe to Red Devil Studios. It's very much appreciated. I'll go back to my studio self. Manchester United, PSG, and Sevilla wants him on loan. Thank you. I'm going to get Footy Live on as soon as I finish talking about Sancho, just to give us a generalized update. Kobe One says, when Igalo loan expires, what striker would you get? That's a good question, because I think what striker is available? You probably have to look at the French league. I think Dembele of Lyon might be a good shout. Edouard in Celtic is a possibility. Who else do you really have? You don't have a lot else really in terms of actual forwards really. Yeah, there's not really a lot, to be honest. And to be honest, the way I kind of see it is that you probably are thinking of like using what's this? Sorry, a comment. The way I kind of see it is that it's a good question. Dembele from Lyon. Unless you guys have any other options, because I can't think of any forwards on linemen that are either still need to prove themselves or would be ridiculously expensive. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please do. We need a centre back. Team who playing width and across. That's the problem, because Lindelof, we need pace, strong, good ball, playing centre back. Well, Upamecano, but would be a good choice. But unfortunately, he's going to be staying at Leipzig for quite some time. Badiashile is a possibility. I certainly would like Badiashile. A part of me secretly hopes that Axel Tuanzebe comes back fit, but he is someone that's been out with injury as well. Because he looked like he was actually all right with Harry Maguire when he played against Arsenal last season. But Badiashile is certainly a good shout. And the reality is that if one of Harry Maguire or Lindelof gets injured, then, our centre-back situation, there's a problem there. Smalling is going to go, and we're going to talk about that later. Eric Bailly could slot in, resuming he's fit. So we've got to see what happens. Suspect Dream says, don't take my Reguilón. No. He is actually so sick, but he'd obviously play second fiddle to Mendy. So screw you guys. I hate you. I hate Adia. Subscribe to him, by the way. Thank you, Suspect Dream. I really, really appreciate you you coming on. Madrid fan through and through. Would you rather have him just rot in the reserves though? This is the thing. And that's why I think that maybe give Reguilón to us on loan, and at least he'll develop and get some game time, and then you can decide to keep him. You know, that's the way that I see it anyway. So, but you know, it is what it is. Abubakar move next summer maybe to United. Yeah, but I didn't think he was going to come anyway. Balashel did this off. The Monaco president said he's staying. There you go. So really, to be honest, what are the chances of us getting a centre back? I honestly don't think that we're going to be getting a centre back anytime soon. Balashel, Upamecano next summer. We're probably going to have to persevere with Harry Maguire and Lindelof. You know, on my thoughts. Simon says Igala must leave up from the team, and because we will still pay him. Or he's leaving in January, Chief. Mo says Ben Yedder was right there. We should have got him, but I don't think he's an out-and-out striker exactly. We need an out-and-out striker. And to be honest, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Can you think of one? The only one I can think of, really, the only two that come to mind are Dembele, the Lyon's forward, and the Edouard kid in Celtic that look okay, look becoming promising. But I can't think of anyone else. Haaland isn't going to leave Dortmund, especially if we go and get Sancho. So that's not happening. Josh King has been touted. You know, would you let me know? Would you guys take Josh King? Josh King from Bournemouth. Would you take him? Jimenez, I wouldn't mind Jimenez, but I don't think Wolves are gonna sell him. Jimenez would be an all right shout, you know, in my opinion. Let's quickly move on, guys, to Sancho wanting to leave. So before we get into Jonas, Sancho wants to leave. Sancho wants to leave. So this was actually a tweet that came out from Jadon, and I've been using Jadon a lot more recently because of his comments regarding the Van der Beek signing and just how accurate he was with the news regarding Van der Beek. So I've been following his Twitter as well as Spiziamano, and he's actually fairly reliable. Certainly more so than other outlets that I know. So Jadon is basically regarding Sancho. He's basically saying, well-connected Norwegian journalist writes that Solskjaer has talked, because obviously Solskjaer is Norwegian, Solskjaer has talked to Sancho many times that Sancho wants to leave, that Solskjaer has told Woodward, fix it. So this turns full circle in that I have always said that this deal for Sancho will be done if Sancho pushes to leave Dortmund and if United table a reasonable bid. But at the end of the day, and actually, if we go back actually to John Ange, he goes further and he goes up and he actually says here, as you can see, Dortmund very clear, don't want to sell him. Puts a 10th of August deadline for any bid. Interesting that Manchester United still haven't given up. Now, at the end of the day, the transfer window is still open to October, so it is what it is. And the situation is still the same. United need to spend the 108 or so million or whatever it is for them to get Jadon Sancho. However, how they do it remains to be seen, whether they do installments, whether they do add-ons, etc. But the fee that Dortmund want will not move, and Dortmund are in the position here. But it's interesting here that any sort of idea that Jadon Sancho didn't want to go, that Jadon Sancho was happy in quote Dortmund, you know, it's not true. And clearly, if Jadon is to believe, Jadon Sancho wants to leave Dortmund. He wants to leave Dortmund. We know this. He definitely wants to leave Dortmund. The question is, can Manchester United put in that bid in? And I think because if the Van der Beek deal is anything to go by, it shows that Manchester United still have a bunch of surprises up their sleeve. Sorry, mouth dry. And I think that Manchester United are going to table a sizable bid for Jadon Sancho towards the end of this transfer window. I think it will happen. I think it will happen. More so, I think it's more so likely than United getting Thiago Upamecano, to be honest. Just a few comments. A Shark says Martial is not his most underrated striker in the league. I'd rather him than Werner any day. Well, that's going to be interesting. Martial versus Werner in the Premier League. Personally, for me, I don't think Timo Werner is the type of striker that's going to get 25, 30 plus goals in the Premier League, per se. We will see what happens. I just think that, it'll be interesting. Martial versus Timo Werner, it'll be interesting. We'll see what happens. But yeah, good comment. We should have went for Gabriel. We should have, but, typical Manchester United ball. We showed our interest. There we go. You finessed Van der Beek. You have a legit stacked midfield, stacked. Focus on developing Martial strikes up front, and then you need with Greenwood or James to give you that. Focus on 4-4-2. I mean, we don't really play a 4-4-2 though. We play a 4-3-3, I think it's also added depth as well, because as we saw last season, Rashford and Martial, one of them will get injured, and then you have a situation where if Rashford and Martial get injured, who are you relying on? I guess Igalo can come in, obviously, although he's with us till January. That's it, really, So it's depth, and Sancho, I think, gives Manchester United, so much depth. Samuel Arkin says, Man United transfers on, but we need a good striker. I agree. Moment, if we get Sancho, we don't need to spend big for the next 2 to 3 years. Woodward needs to move. I agree with that. I do think that if we get Sancho, we still need a centre back, probably a CDM, although our midfield is potentially quite flexible in that respect, and a forward. But I think that if we were to sign Sancho and a centre back in this transfer window solid, then I think we have a lot more added confidence going into the transfer window. But I think the big thing here really for me is that, and I'll get myself back into position here, is that Jadon Sancho wants to leave Dortmund. Okay, and this has been the ongoing thing that's awesome, is that he wants to leave. Yes, there was a deadline, but so long as United put in that bid, they'll get Jadon Sancho without a shadow of a doubt. They will get Jadon, and I think you'll hear a lot more Jadon Sancho to Manchester United news probably the next week, 2 weeks, as United focus on it, because it was obviously separate to this Van der Beek situation. I am interested to see whether United will get anybody else. Like I said, I think Upamecano and the like are going to be out. So shout out to Deadly Daniel UK. Thank you for watching on Twitch. And shout out to everyone who's watching on Twitch and Facebook. Very much appreciated. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that it's 50-50 in my mind. It's 50-50. But for all intents and purposes, Manchester United have not given up on signing Jadon Sancho. And the signing of Van der Beek is evidence to me that Manchester United, the board, are quite happy to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. My concern going into this transfer window was that this was going to be like a Mourinho thing where, the board were not going to back Solskjaer, give him the signs, or give him decent signs going forward. And the statement signing of Donny van der Beek is a statement signing going forward. It's showing us the board is willing to back Jadon Sancho and take things further. So I think this is a question of watch this space. Let's have a look. Lewis Kirk says, sing for what? Sing for what? To win the league, we need Sancho and Didi Upamecano and possibly a left back. I don't necessarily think we need all of that. I agree with you that we need Sancho and a centre back, definitely saw a centre back, and Didi possibly, left back for depth, but I don't necessarily need all of that to win a league. Certainly not all of that to be competitive. What is the story of Messi? I mean, we're going to be talking about that on the Red Devil Live podcast on Monday. We'll be going into more about the Messi situation, stuff like that. But that's within the remit of this discussion. But it's quite sad, I think, is what I would say. But he's not going to Manchester City. So as a United fan, I'm quite happy that he's not going to Manchester City and making them strong. Just sending them, yeah, I'm going to quickly just speak about Thiago, and I'll send it to you in about 10 minutes, I think. Stream is lagging a bit. Is it lagging a bit on Twitch? Let me know if you guys if it's lagging, guys. If it's causing problems. So I don't like RDS, but I want him to. I don't like. I want him to reach 3K. So that's why I like him. If you have tuned in, you may as well hit that sub button. Respect the grind. Love hate, and check out Suspect Dreams channel as well. By the way, check out his channel as well. So, but yeah, road to 3K subscribers. Road to 2,500 subscribers. Actually, we're not that long. We're not that far away. So, guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you want to be notified, smash that notification button and make sure that you share and share love to Red Devil Studio. Appreciate it, guys. Give me some feedback as well. Let me know what content you want. You know, it goes a long way. Moses, we can see just 3 more goals in Liverpool last year. Our defense isn't that bad, really, and that is true. And this is something that I do when I defend Harry Maguire. When a lot of people say we desperately need a centre back. The only reason why I say we need a centre back is that if Maguire or Lindelof get injured, then there's problems because Bai and Twansibi haven't shown themselves to be reliable in terms of the injury department. Smalling is probably going to go to Roma, and Phil Jones should stay away from the team. I don't care if Phil Jones is 100% fit. He's not going to be near the team. So you're kind of left with not many options, and that's kind of why we need that centre back. And Rojo, goodness knows what's happening with Marcus Rojo, to be honest. United struggle under Lee cases. United struggle under pressure in the back DM position. Why not get Thiago, who fires when under pressure? Some of our mistakes are cognitive. That is true. That is true. And like I said, getting Thiago would certainly give us depth. Would certainly give us added protection in front and from the back four. But what I'm saying with our centre back situation is that it's just because we're an injury away from a crisis, basically, and we can't really rely on Bay, as much as I love him, and Twansibi to be fit. So, you know, the whole last season we're essentially playing Lindelof Maguire for most of the season, with Bay coming in once or twice. Smalling wasn't there, Rojo wasn't there, Phil Jones, enough said. So you really need to have 4 fit centre backs to compete in the league, and right now we have Eric Bailly, Chris Smalling, Lindelof. Those are our only 3 fit centre backs. Smalling is probably going to go. Jones is injured. Rojo is back, but is probably going. So we only really have 3 centre backs, and one of them, Bay, could be injured. So we're down to 2. Luke Shaw can play left-sided centre backs. There's a possibility there, but you know, it is what it is. Who do you think is better, you or True Red? Oh yeah, Liverpool fan. Me, because I'm a United fan. What's this? Bro on the real, not to joke. How is Phil Jones a pro footballer? I don't get it either. I don't get it either. I really don't get it either. I don't. But he is, and we're paying him 150, I think 120k a week. So he's not only playing football, he's getting 120k a week. Just think about that. Midfield 3 of Pogba, Bruno, and Thiago with DVD as sub is really good. I agree. Speaking of Thiago, let's quickly go into news because I need to get my friend Philly Live on here. Is Thiago leaving Bayern? Now, this is something that I saw. I'll quickly get this out because Thiago is obviously on international duty right now, and where is it? Yes, here we go. Thiago's on international duty right now with Spain, and is obviously being asked about whether he's staying at Bayern or not, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, Liverpool were involved, wanting to see if he was going to come on, etc., etc., etc. So Thiago basically was asked by Spanish press, you know, whether he's still leaving, what's going on. So he says, speaking while international duty with Spain, Thiago said, "I have not said at," and this is I think this is very important here, is that Thiago said, "I have not said at any time that I am leaving. Every year you put me in a different team. I am on the sidelines. My future is tomorrow's game right now. I neither care nor am I interested in what I know talked about." You know, and then again, you know, Bayern Munich had previously missed the Thiago during the transfer. However, they'd only sell to a club if he paid the 40 million release clause. And he says, this isn't the first time Thiago has hinted that Bayern staged an initial break. He said after Spain's draw Germany on Thursday that Bayern is his home. So to be honest, these words, these statements, if a player is saying, I mean, yes, of course, any bid can come in and a player can move and you can say these things, but this doesn't sound like a player that's necessarily pushing for a move away from Bayern. That would be content with a move to stay at Bayern. And if anything, I feel like this actually, because I've always said that United were not necessarily going to get Kobe Manta says, I'll come to that in a second. 2 seconds. Christian Falk said he lied. Who? Thiago or the reporter? The reporter. Okay, so maybe this is false news because I was going to talk, but then I saw this. So the reporter, was it Thiago that lied? Was it fake? Was it fake or something? I'll quickly have a look at Christian Falk on Twitter because Christian Falk is fairly reliable. Let's have a quick look. No, I'm still on Christian Falk. In fact, I'll screen share what Christian Falk has basically said, just for those who are looking at it, because I like keeping it interactive. So, guys, if I'm saying anything that's off or there's latest news or updates, this is why it's like a live show. Post in the comments. Let me listen. Let me read. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to show it to you guys. So that we can keep things interactive, so it's not just sort of script or anything. So this is Christian Falk's Twitter. He said, Kyans of CEO Ryan said about Thiago, we negotiated seriously with him and fulfilled all of his wishes, but it looks like he might want to do something new at the end of his career. Okay, so that's the CEO of Bayern saying that. And then Thiago in Spain press conference says, I've not told anyone that I'm leaving. Every year they put me in a different club. For me, it's the same, blah, blah, blah. So from what I understand, so yeah, Thiago is a very important player for City. He said, so I'm almost confused in a way because basically Hansi Flick and the CEO of Bayern are saying he wants a new challenge, he wants something to change in his career. But then the press conference in Spain seems to say, I've not told anyone that I'm leaving. So that confuses me. That really does confuse me. Anyway, let's have a look at your comments, guys. Wagwan Man says True Red. Thank you so much. Sharp says just sub, bro. Really like the streams. Keep locked. Thank you so much. Thank you. Remember, hit that like, guys. I try and do these streams regularly. We do this Manchester United news show once a week, but we do other live streams as well. Our Red Devil Live podcast, which is just talks about European football, will be tonight at 9 o'clock. But yeah, keep this. I appreciate the support. I really do. Unpopular opinion: if Mourinho can call Dele lazy, he'd have spanked Lingard and gave him physical punishments. And no, that's not true. That's not true, Suspect Dream, because Mourinho actually liked Jesse Lingard. Mourinho played Jesse Lingard a lot. So Mourinho actually liked Jesse Lingard a lot. That's actually not true. That's not true. So look, Christian Fox said, yeah. Dune Allen says, great show, bro. The first time watching show. I just subscribed to RDS and liked the video. Cheers from Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for everyone that's watching the show. Really appreciate it. And all the new subscribers. Much love to the Red Devil Studio community. And let me know a name. I want to have a name for you guys. Red Devil Squad or something. The Red Devil, something that's innovative, so that I can name this community something that's not just generic, like the Devil Army, the Devil Army or something like that. Give me some suggestions. Thiago is coming to Liverpool. Lay off, bruv. Mate, this is what I'm trying to clarify here, because at the end of the day, if Thiago's comments are anything to go by, he's in his press conference, he said he's quite happy to stay at Bayern. So, but my point ultimately here really is that, at the end of the day, much like with the Sancho thing, Red Devil Ultras, yes, Red Devil Ultras, that sounds good, True Red. At the end of the day, Bayern have said we are quite happy to sell Thiago for 30 million euros. United can certainly pay 30 million euros. I don't think that's a problem. I think the big issue and the ongoing issue Manchester United is that, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has posted a video a while back, having spoken to Thiago, is his wages. He's currently on 200k a week at Bayern Munich, and the question is, would he be willing to either be on that or take a pay cut? My understanding is probably that Thiago probably wants an increase going to Manchester United, whereas I don't necessarily think that he'd mind taking a bit of a wage cut to go to Liverpool. I think Mane, Salah, I think the highest earner at Liverpool is probably on 225k a week or something like that. And bear in mind, the highest earner at Manchester United right now, I think, is David De Gea on 350, because obviously Sanchez is now gone, thank God. And we'll talk about Sanchez later. Christian Folk, not true. True. At Thiago said goodbye to his colleagues and employees of FC Bayern. As in, so what I don't understand is that it's not true that he said goodbye. So it's true that he did say goodbye. In which case, if he's saying goodbye, where's the bid though? That's what I don't understand. You know, that's what I don't get. Yeah, that's why I just don't get, like, because where's the bid? You know, where's the bid? There's no one has bid for him or agreed terms. You know, I've yet to see it, and that's my thing. George says, I take it Thiago doesn't want to leave. Yeah, that's the impression that I got. So, but we'll see what happens. I think this is a watch this space. But from what I've seen, from what I've read, it's Thiago is unless Liverpool have submitted a substantial bid, which I suspect they will do at some point, having been pressured by Manchester United. I don't know what's going to happen, but I haven't heard anything from the Liverpool camp for quite some time, you know. So I guess it is what it is. Something says he plays Dele Alli regular as one of five. Mourinho commented on his training, and let's be honest, Lingard trains hard. He does. To be fair, he does. Right. Let me see if I can get. So that's just the Thiago update. Let me just see if I can get my transfer Tom on. I just posted the link. I've sent you the link. Transfer Tom. Just for you to come onto the show, just to give everyone just a general brief update from your point of view. And while I wait, I'm just quickly going to be talking about Chris Smalling. So obviously, we're expecting like a bid basically from AS Roma, I think an improved bid for Chris Smalling to go to Roma. It's clear that Chris Smalling wants to go to Roma. I think he had a very good season. AS Roma wants him. In fact, I think he was linked with Inter and even Juventus at one point. So he's definitely a popular a player at Roma, and I think that the bid is within the range of 20. In fact, instead of me explaining it, here's Transfer Tom. Transfer Tom, I'll get you on. Tom, hey, how you doing?
Hey, man, how's it going?
You good? You okay?
Yeah, man. How's you?
I'm fine. So I'm just get this to work a bit better. Stop screen share. There, right? Okay, yeah. So can you just give us a bit of an update on Smalling and any just other transfers at all?
Yeah, the situation with Smalling is Roma came back, went away from the negotiating table.
Oh, sorry. Are you able to turn up your mic a bit? I can't really hear you that well.
Hang on a second then. Is that any better? Hello?
A little bit better. Let me know if you can hear him in the comments, but go on.
Anyway, well, I'll try and just quickly... Right, there we go. Right, hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay, right, go. Yeah.
Anyway, so the situation with Smalling at the moment is pretty much Roma went away from the negotiating table towards the start of the season. Well, towards the start of the summer, really. And when they come away from the negotiating table, they've taken more time and everything and, looked at their options and whatnot. And then they've come back to the table. And usually when a club comes back to the table, it means that they're in and they mean business. Say if Man United went away from the table for, say, Sancho, and they went back to the table, there's obviously reasons why you would go back. And that's because you want to get the player in. What I'm hearing right now, it's either going to be another loan with this time an option to buy for a specific fee, or Roma are going to offer a fee of 18 million euros, which Man United want between 20 million euros and 25 million euros for him. And something will get done there with such as add-ons and stuff. So really, I would expect Smalling to leave to Roma. It just depends which way the deal's going to fall. If it's going to be a loan with an option to buy, or if it's going to be he's just going to be bought outright. As of right now. But personally, I don't see Chris Smalling staying at Manchester United now.
Okay, fine. Okay, fair enough. And just a brief sort of update on any of them. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. But just a brief update on all the players that we mentioned before, like Thiago, Sancho, and Reguilón. Could you just give us just a brief update on what you know about those players? If there's any additional information you'd like to add?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think we did the 100% United podcast. I think it was last Sunday anyway. And I said when we talked about defenders at Manchester United, because you asked about Upamecano, and I said, Upamecano will probably not leave this summer, and I've been told that he won't leave this summer. He's going to leave. If he's going to leave, he's going to leave next summer. So stay tuned. Maybe United might get him next summer, like I put in the comments. But I said we talked about a left back and everything, and I said Sergio Reguilón would be a good option for United, and it's somebody they have looked at for the whole season, really. And it's a case of this. Real Madrid, like you've said, have got a lot of left-back options at the moment, so he's going to find it hard to fight for places. Maybe if it was second choice, he would be more settled to stay. But from as far as I know, PSG want a new left-back because Juan Bernat's he's aging and he's not really the kind of player to play Thomas Tuchel's system. This, from what I'm being told. So Reguilón is a player that fits his style and his system. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer watched him in the Sevilla match, very impressed, and obviously they monitored him for the whole season, and then there's obviously that to add in. And Sevilla wants him back, but the only thing with Sevilla is they haven't got the funds at the moment to buy him permanently, otherwise they would. So it would be another loan for them, really. But at the moment, like I say, Manchester United have been spoken to by Real Madrid. Real Madrid personally contacted United, PSG and Sevilla and said, right, here's Sergio Reguilón. You can either buy him for this or you can loan him with an option to buy for this price. And the price is around 20 million euros from what from what's really being talked about at the moment. What do you expect Sergio Reguilón to come this summer? Well, like I say, other deals are being prioritised, and we'll get onto that, obviously. I think we know the main name United want, and that's Mr. Sancho. But at the moment, Sergio Reguilón would be an option, but it'd be a competition option. And I think it's a case of United can trial him on loan, and then you can buy him permanently, which is like what Roma did with Smalling, but they didn't have an option to buy. Otherwise, they would have bought him already, probably. So that's probably the reason why with all that with Reguilón. Thiago, it's an odd one at the moment. There's two main front runners for him, and it's Liverpool and it's Man United. I tweeted about a week ago about Thiago, and I said there was a 48-hour deadline for Liverpool, and it was Bayern Munich sent them an ultimatum and said, right, you give us 30 million euros, or you give us an offer close to that, and we can work on it, or we open talks with other clubs. And one of the other clubs was Manchester United. Yeah. United have spoken to his agent. They have spoken to Bayern Munich about the transfer. The problem is his wages. And that's the problem with Liverpool. Yeah. If his wages was not the problem, he would already be a Liverpool player now. Yeah. And the reason is there's a policy in Liverpool's system from years ago, decades ago, and they don't pay players over a certain amount of fee based on their age. If a player is above the age of 28, they don't pay them over 200 grand a week. Yeah, they would ship them on. Say if, for example, Salah was on 300k a week and say he was 34, he wouldn't be there anymore. That's the reason why. There's a policy in place. So that's why Liverpool is struggling at the moment. And Bayern Munich have obviously, the deadline's passed, and Bayern Munich have spoken to other clubs. But there is the option, I would say Thiago could stay, and then he could go for free next summer, which then Liverpool you'd still have to negotiate the wages with him personally, but you'd have to negotiate with Bayern Munich. So there is a major chance for United to get this deal. Massive chance, because Liverpool, Liverpool have been in the British phrase, had the pants pulled down really in terms of trying to get a deal for him, because obviously with their wage structure and how they use wages, United, it's a lot more lenient because United can afford to pay players more. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, Manchester United could afford to pay Lionel Messi's wages, but they couldn't afford the transfer fee. And that's the difference. Whereas Thiago, you're paying 30 million euros, which is roughly around 25 million if you convert it back. And he's just come off of the back of winning a Champions League, and he's going to improve any team that he goes into. So it's a win-win situation really in terms of that. And
I was gonna get you to talk on Sancho in a second, but I'm realizing I'm actually running out of time. And I have to quickly just address the Alexis Sanchez comments just by myself. So, but could you just give me just like a 10-second summary on like where you see the Sancho deal going, if that's okay, Tom?
Yeah, that's fine. Basically, it's very similar. It's very similar to what you're obviously hearing every day, you know. But it's intensified a lot because, like I said, behind the scenes, Donny van de Beek happened. Now, in the limelight, they're doing a very similar thing with what they did with Donny van de Beek, where it's under wraps, shall we say. It was very under wraps with Van de Beek. That's what Dortmund and them have agreed on now. Because obviously comments with such as Zorc, their sporting director, United don't take kindly to that because it's putting them in a bad position in terms of media and fans. So that's the situation. But developments will happen. I'll just say developments will happen. It's inevitable. Whether it's going to be positive or negative, don't know yet. You can't put your finger on it. Nobody can. But anyway, that's just a brief update on that anyway.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. I'll see you in a bit, okay? Thanks for coming on, Chief.
Yeah. See you later.
Right.
Man, see you
later. So hopefully that answers your question, Kobe Miranda. So it's going to be kept on the wraps and we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm 50-50, probably leaning towards 60-40. How much are Thiago's wages? At Bayern, he's getting about 202 to 220, I think. And as Tom, as you heard rightfully said, I don't know a single player that's above the age of 28, 29 at Liverpool that is getting paid 200 over 200k a week, unless they've been at the club, you know, already, like for a long period. But no, I don't know any, and that's the big thing. I think that's what Tom makes a very, 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 very good point. Now, the big issue here, where a lot of people don't seem to realize, is it's not the fee, it's the wages. It's his wages, and this idea that Thiago was desperate to come to Liverpool and desperate to come to United. Yes, he'd like to have a new challenge, but he wants his wages to be taken care of. I think United, in that sense, are in a better position because we obviously sold Alexis Sanchez, and at least his wages aren't going to be a problem for us going forward. And speaking of Alexis Sanchez, just quickly, Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez. I'm going to finish up with this, you know, as we round the show up, because it's almost been an hour now. But Alexis Sanchez, guys. Alexis Sanchez was what can you say about this chap? He said a few comments this week, which I thought were interesting. Or basically, and if you didn't hear them, he basically said that he turned up, and this has probably been one of Jose Mourinho's training sessions. He turned up to one of Jose Mourinho's sessions and basically said that the first day he wished he'd never signed, gone back to Arsenal. This would have been probably one of Mourinho's sessions. I think that it's disrespectful for a start for him to say something like this. But also, I think it just shows the character, because it explains a lot as to why he basically flopped at United. His heart wasn't there. He didn't really play. And if his mindset was after a training session was, I don't want to be here, bearing in mind that Mourinho has won Champions Leagues, it just doesn't make sense, really. He said some other stuff like there wasn't a family environment, all the rest of it. I don't know. I call nonsense on it. I think Ray Parlour called him out on this because there were reports coming out of Arsenal that he kept to himself. They didn't interact. So I don't really get, if you're a family type of player, then why did you push out a move to leave Arsenal? Why did you not sign an extended contract? I think it's very, very strange. Just a few. Akil says, would you rather have Thiago and Sancho or centre-back and Sancho? Or centre-back and Sancho. Piano Man underperformed and was overpaid. Exactly. He underperformed and was overpaid. I don't care. I mean, I know football players are human. I get that. But frankly, this idea that they have to create environments to benefit you, an employee. Like, that's why I respect. I mean, Thiago Silva coming out like Thiago Silva, work home, that's it. You're an employee. All right, you're the highest paid player at Manchester United, and you're like, oh, but it's not a family environment. Oh, I don't like the training. What's wrong with you? Nah, I don't buy that excuse at all. And we'll see what happens. To be fair, many weren't happy. Yeah, they weren't happy, but at the end of the day, like, you're still got to play. That's not an excuse to drop the ball. Like, you saw so many times in Jose that they weren't happy, but how many times did Pogba, did Martial, did Rashford, especially Pogba, Martial, bail out Mourinho? I remember that Newcastle game, we came back 3-2. Pogba, Martial bailed him out. They didn't just sort of like down tools and go, right, okay, we're not interested anymore. We're not going to play, etc. They were frustrated. Alexis Sanchez just didn't do anything. Like, he really, aside from his assist against in that City game where we came back, I can't remember anything significant that Alexis Sanchez did, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, he really, really didn't offer us anything. And frankly, I'm quite happy that he's no longer at the club. All the best. Maybe he might rebuild his reputation at Inter Milan, although I doubt it because he's been out with injuries. And I just think that he's past it right now, to be honest. I think his best days are over. Maybe he should go back to Barcelona. Maybe they need that type of player because they seem to be in complete disarray right now. So by all means, go back to them, So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, it was odd. It was strange. It came out of nowhere. But I just think this is a guy who was paid a lot of money to basically do next to nothing. And it's probably one of the worst signings that Manchester United could have made in recent history. And that's basically the end of that. Thanks everyone for watching, guys. If you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Got quite a few watching, so appreciate the new subs. Remember to like, share the video. Consider becoming a member of the channel as well. If you want to become a member, hit the join button to become a member of the Red Devil Studio, or the Red Devil Ultras, as it were. And take things from there. Last comment from Mo says, I don't think he said anything disrespectful, but it showed his weak mentality and excuse making. Exactly. I mean, just at the end of the day, like, you're getting paid $400K a week. A lot of people don't like their jobs, but they still do them, and they do them to the best of their ability. Welcome to the world, Alexi. I'm sorry, it just is how it is. But yeah, guys, like I said, thanks everyone for watching so much. I really like doing these live shows, and I thank you guys for getting involved as well. Let me know what you think. I'm going to be posting a lot of polls to get more and more of your feedback. So please check the community tab and look at those polls. And I'll be telling you the content that we're going to be doing going forward. Stay tuned, guys. Remember to check out our Red Devil Live podcast tomorrow, and we'll take things from there. Have a nice day, everyone.